Hi everyone, it's Wendy. I want to show you some envelopes that I've been making from book pages, and they are a little bit shiny but not massively shiny. But I just got carried away last night making all these lovely envelopes ready to decorate up to put in journals, and I just thought it's a nice easy way to make envelopes. So I'm going to show you the process. So this one was a lovely page with all flowers on, so I didn't really decorate it up at all. I just put a little gratitude word there and tied up with string. This one was a more plain book page, so I have put a little bit more ephemera on there, and I've put a sticker inside the front flap. Oh, not on that one, this one, sorry. In fact, I do need to put a sticker on that one as well. Just then you've got a bit of interest when you open that. So I'll put a sticker on this one while I've got it open. It's a little cat there on a moon. I've lost my pokey tool and I'm finding it quite hard to get the back off these stickers. So bear with me. There it is. I could just feel it there. Let's just put that one inside while I've got it open. So that's that one finished. So the book I've been using is this flower arranger book. The pages are quite nice and thick, and I've pulled 2 pages out. I just cut when you rip them out, it comes out, so there's a few loose pages there. Oh, and that one, it comes out with this edge on, so I just trim that off on the guillotine. And then they are quite large. I'll tell you the measurements of this. It is 8 inches by 11.5. So I just get my scoreboard, which is in centimetres, and then I just score 2 centimetres on each edge. Very easy to do these. Like I got carried away last night. Fold that in and fold that in. At this point you need to decide which you want on the outside. In fact, I think I'll have that on the outside. So I'm going to fold those in. And then, like I say, it's 11.5. So I score at 8. That's going to be the flap. Then I score at 20. And that gives a nice opening. Like so. Right, the scoreboard's finished with now. Put that away. So that's going to be glued down, and that's the flap. So before we glue down, we just need to do a little bit of cutting. Now on the score line, let me just draw that in, then you can see it. There's a score line there, obviously right across there, all the way down here, and this side, and then there's a score line across here. So we're going to cut at a little angle there, and then cut straight up that score line, straight. In fact, just slightly to the inside of it, because then you don't want it to hinder itself on the fold. That doesn't really make sense, hinder itself. Just, I'll explain now when I've cut it why you just cut it 1 millimetre or 2 inside the line, because when you fold it up and you fold these flaps in, if you go over the line, it's going to buttle that up a little bit. See, that folds nice and flat. It's flush against the back. So on your next cut, again, you want to just angle a little bit on there and the same on this side. Then cut straight down your flap. Now keep on the line for this one, because this is going to be your flap to shut the envelope. Like so. Then, so that's going to be glued down, and here you can either leave it like that, or I like to just angle mine up a little bit, just up to the fold there. Just gives it a little bit neater edge, I think. Like so. And then for the top, for the flap, I just cut a sort of long triangle, turn this piece over and put it there, which is the way you can do your tags. I'm sure you've all done this, just so that you get it more or less equal. And then that's it. That's your envelope. Now I'm not going to glue this one. Well, I will glue it, but I won't be keeping it because I've already drawn on it. So I'm just gluing here on this flap, and this side as well. Like so. And make sure your glue doesn't seep out onto the inside of your envelope. So that basically is it. Now what I like to do is use a tab, and I've got some in my box already cut out here. I've got, I've used a cream one, and these are just punched out with my, here it is, this punch, that shape. I just, whenever I have any spare bits of cardboard, I always just do punch circles out or punch these tabs out. Don't like wasting anything. And then just glue that onto the edge of your envelope on the flap, like so. Then get my crocodile, and I use the smallest hole on mine. Now you can either put a grommet in or an eyelet. These are the little tiny ones. Or just put a punch circle just to give it a bit more strength, because we will be putting string through there and it will be not pulling a lot but just a little bit. So on this instance I'll set an eyelet in, and like so. I got these eyelets from the local craft shop and they set really quite well. They don't split at the back like some do. Give a nice perfect and setting. Right, then I've got some, in fact I think it's knitting cotton, to be honest, or crochet cotton. Now the way I judge the length is I'm going to need about that long for the tie, so I just fold it there, hold it onto my tab, and then wrap it round the long end. I'm going to wrap it round twice and then cut it the same length as the other one. Now that's where it was folded. So then I'm going to feed that through the eyelet, if I can get it. And attach it through. And wrap the long end round twice, like so, and tie it in a nice bow. And that is ready for decorating. Or if it was like the front, I don't think needs much decoration. Maybe something just stuck on there, and then the back could have a bit more. So let's see what we can find to decorate that up with. I've got these. I think these were a freebie from Sweet Pea on Facebook, and the little fairy, can you see? Let me see if that's focusing for you. There, little tiny ones, and that's Gorse Fairy. So that would go on the front. The colour matches as well. Just ink the edges quickly and take my glue. Then I made a load of these last week. What I do, I give a gift out to my craft group every Friday, and I give them all a gift, which, you know, like a little chocolate bar or a tube of sweets or something. And I made little boxes to put the item in, and I make boxes and envelopes, and I just enjoy doing it. And I made a load of these envelopes to put, I think they were Mentos sweets. The secret to being happy is to find peace where you are, even if you're not yet where you want to be. I've just must have clipped the S off there, but I'm still going to use it, and I'm going to put it there. This is a good way of using lots of your ephemera up as well, which I've got tons of it. You know, and you enjoy fussy cutting. Now I've got these little people here. Isn't that cute? So I'll stick that one on as well. You just go to town, putting as much or as little as you want on. And I'm going to put her there, even though I've missed the cut the S off there. So what do you think? Need something on there as well. What else have we got in this bag? Got some books, and I don't need another person, do I? I don't need more words really either. I'll put a couple of books on, like so, just for the sake of using them up, like I say. If you're doing a particular journal, you could use some of the ephemera that comes with the kits. Let's put that one there, and this one. So that's just a quick little video on how to make some lovely envelopes. Use your book pages up. Like I say, you could use smaller book pages, and obviously the envelopes would be smaller. But I just enjoy making them out from this book because it's like a good thickness of paper, so it's quite sturdy. And there we go. Could put some tea bags in these as well to give the ladies as well. All sorts of things. I put a little chocolate bar in the ones I made last week. So, aren't they pretty? Okay, that's me done for today, and I shall see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.